Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. For today's review, I'm going to take a quick look at the 112 Collective Batman by Mezco. This figure has been guest reviewed on my blog already, but I have had some requests for video review, so here it is. So starting with the packaging, you've got the nice BVS logo in the front, and there's a clear sleeve that kind of covers the whole box to protect it from scratching, which is cool. And then you get this nice glossy sleeve on the inside, and around the side you've got the BVS logo there, and Batman in his various poses and accessories. And this is actually an outer sleeve. So the outer sleeve has the print of the figure and the logo. And here's the actual packaging. So really nice graphic there. It's like concrete texture, which is nice. And this thing opens up to reveal the Batman logo. And you can see the window here. I have taken the figure out already, but you can see all the accessories laid out there nicely. And again on the back, just one close-up shot of Batman. And here is the inside of the packaging. And there is a tray on the back, which houses the display stand parts and the wires for the cape, which I won't get into too much because Mezco's already written an article about that. And then there's a little Ziploc bag for your accessories if you don't want to keep the packaging. And here are the accessories that Batman comes with. So he comes with two heads. One of them is like a non-expressive face, and the other one is a slightly gritting teeth face. So he comes with two heads. I've already taken it off the body. So one optional head and one that comes with the figure. And he also gets a pair of Batarang holding hands. So this is the left hand, and the right hand is pretty much a mirror image of that one. Batarang's very nicely painted, metallic silver, and this way you don't lose the Batarang or anything, so that's good. And he comes with on his left hand, he comes with a kind of a gripping hand, which I think is to hold this stamp. So in the movie, I think he stamps the bad guy on the forehead or something, or like a brand. And you kind of just slip it on here, like that. So that's pretty cool. And he also gets a open palm sort of hand for the left hand. And for the right hand, he gets an open palm hand as well. And also a hand for the grappling gun. So the grappling gun is very nicely detailed, very well sculpted, pretty solid. It is a little bit flexible, and it kind of just fits into Batman's hand like so, and it fits in there very, very nicely. And with the grappling hook gun, you get a very small unopened grappling hook, which you can plug into the gun. You get a kind of an opened grappling hook, which you can also plug into the gun. And you get this grappling hook with a string on it. And you can plug one end of that into the gun, and the other one you can hang it off like a bookcase or something. So that's pretty cool. But the thing is, they're very small accessories, so be careful not to lose them. He also comes with what appears to be some sort of grenade or canister, gas canister. Not exactly sure where this is from. And also 3 separate Batarangs. And again, these are very nicely done, metallic silver, and they're very small and very thin. So just be careful not to break or lose these. And of course, he comes with his display stand with the BVS logo there, and a display stand arm, which you can swap out. I think this is like a foot peg where you can plug into his feet if you don't want to use the arm, or you can pop this out and put the display base arm on instead. And this is the attachment for the cape wire hook things, which I won't get into too much detail. And swapping out the head is pretty straightforward. Just pop his head off the ball joint and pop the other one on And the sculpting on these heads look really, really good. And the hands are pretty much the same deal. Pop it off the peg. And pop it on. And now for a closer look at the figure itself. So like I mentioned before, the head sculpt on this guy is spot on. He looks really, really good. The skin tone is quite nice as well. Not too pale, not too dark. You can see the eyes inside there. Bit of a glossy treatment, so it kind of reflects the light, which is nice. And his suit, it's really, really nice. It's fabric material, of course. And it's got this rubber ribbing all around it. So it looks really cool. Not sure how they made it, but it looks great. And the logo on his chest looks really nice. I think it's some sort of rubberized material that's been adhered to the fabric. So that's really nice. And his utility belt sits on his waist quite nicely. Nicely painted gold and gunmetal color scheme. And I think you can actually pop the utility belt off somehow, but I'm not going to try that. And I've just noticed on the back there's a little peg which I think is for him to store his grappling hook gun, if I'm not mistaken. And it is keyed, so just make sure you have it in the right direction. And his grappling hook gun fits on his back there, so that's really cool. And the stitching on this suit is quite nice as well. It's really well hidden in the back, so you just get one seam down the back here. And the sides are really nicely done. You hardly even notice the seams on this suit, so that's really good. And then moving on to his gauntlet, nice gold color for the spiky bits. And it's got this nice leathery texture, which is the same on the boots. So everything looks really nice and kind of organic. Well painted feet here with the gold on the toes. Overall, it's a really good looking figure. The only thing I don't really like is the cape. I think it's, first of all, I think it's too thick. Secondly, I really prefer to have a wide cape so it doesn't flop around. And it kind of wraps around to the front of the figure a lot. So you kind of have to really push it out of the way in order to show off the actual figure. But they have done some nice things, like the nice pattern on the cape. It's like a backed wing kind of pattern, and they did weather the bottom of it to make it look all muddy and used. So that's kind of cool. And in terms of articulation, he can look up that far and look down that far. So not as much up as he can look down, bit of side to side and all the way around, although it kind of tends to pop off if you rotate it too much. I find that the neck piece here is a little bit too thick for the head. That's why every time you kind of rotate it, it kind of pops off the peg. So that's not great. For the shoulders, he does have a little bit of butterfly movement here, back and forth. He can lift up his arms way high, so that's really good. And rotate, obviously you can't go all the way around because of the fabric, but without the fabric you can pretty much swing his whole arm around. And he does have bicep swivels, so that's really nice. And again, the fabric prevents you from spinning it all the way around. And I think it's a double jointed elbow, but because of the gauntlet it only gives you just under 90 degrees, but it's still pretty good. And no swinging at the elbows. And for the wrist, he's got pin and hinge, so in and out and all the way around. And then moving on to his body, he has a diaphragm joint, but it doesn't offer much crunch. It does allow him to stretch back a little bit, and it also gives him a bit of side to side as well as rotation. But again, I wouldn't turn it too much because of the fabric. And with the waist, you can stretch back that far, but not much in terms of crunching forward, unfortunately. And it also gives you a little bit of rotation. but not heaps. And then coming down to his hips, he can kick forward that far, kick back that far, and also do pretty much a perfect split. And the fabric seems to be holding up fine in the crotch area, even with the full split. So that's cool. And you can feel like there's some sort of padding inside to give him a bit more musculature on the thighs. And there is a thigh swivel, and it's nice and tight, but not too tight that you might break the joint. So that's nice. And then he's got, I think it's a double jointed knee, and it gives him a really nice bend there at the knees. And a bit of rotation around the boots. So that's good. And for his ankles, he can tilt down that far, up that far, and he's got ankle pivot, so that's really, really good. And in terms of height, he measures about 165 millimeters to the top of his head, which is about 6.49 inches. And now for some size comparisons. Here he is with Mezco 112 Collective Armored Batman from BVS. Here he is with Mafex BVS Batman. Here he is with DC Multiverse Suicide Squad Batman. Here he is with SH Figuarts Injustice Batman. Here he is with DC Icons Rebirth Batman. Here he is with Batman Unlimited The Dark Knight Returns Batman. Here he is with DC Collectibles Premium Format Superman. Here he is with SH Figuarts Tony Stark. And lastly, here he is with Marvel Legends Cyclops. I wasn't actually a fan of the movie, but I really dig this costume design, and I think Mezco has done a really good job translating it into a 1:12 scale action figure. And the use of the fabric really adds another level of realism to the figure. The only thing I didn't really like about this figure is this massive cape. It always wants to come and swing to the front of the figure and cover everything up, so it's really kind of annoying. Overall, if you're a Batman fan and you like hot toy style figures, but you don't want to pay the premium or you don't have the space for them, the 112 Collective is definitely worth checking out. And that's it for my review of the Mezco 112 Collective BVS Batman. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another toy review.